Welcome back. I can't be loud because Artie's sleeping again. Also, look at this massive pimple under my nose. You're welcome. I hope you've missed me. Anyway, I'm gonna fold some washing and let's have a chat. Love it. So, firstly, how are we? Good? We're good. So, lots to cover. So I'm going to be like, bam, 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 quick fire. Obviously I'm doing okay because I'm sitting here filming. So, okay, today is Sunday, the 27th of February. So on Tuesday, I'm gonna be 4 weeks post-op. What? Where did that go? Legit, where did that go? So it's like 4:22 in the afternoon. Arthur's gone down for his afternoon nap and he actually went down straight away, which has not been like him lately. So thank you, Arthur, for this time. Boys are at the gym, so yeah, I'm just sitting here folding my washing and I thought, what perfect timing to catch up with you guys and hopefully get this up and edited and posted tomorrow morning. Amazing. Look at me go. Pew, pew, pew. So anyway, I think my last video that I posted last week, which was my, I had surgery and week 1 post-op, got a lot of love, which was awesome. I had people messaging me on Instagram saying thank you so much for posting and that it's helped them. I had people saying that they even watched it with their husbands or their wives, just for them to have a perspective of what they might go through after, which was really, really cool. You know, and that's what this is all about. This is my experience, what I've been through. You might have the same, you might not, you might completely breeze through it. I've just been having a chat with some women online today though. Like, one person posted in a group and said that like they're having massive buyer's remorse, so they're like 15 days post-op and they're still wondering every single day why the hell they did this. And then like a bunch of other people kept saying the same thing, and I just thought, like, what is it? Like, what are they missing in their recovery that's making them feel like that? Like, there's more than one person. So anyway, I, you know, was like, hey, like, hope you're okay. Like, what's making you feel that way? After having a chat with a friend last night who's actually had the surgery as well, there's a lot of things that I was told before I even was accepted for surgery. I got given booklets to read before I had the surgery about the diet after and what I might go through, the things I'm gonna have to supplement for the rest of my life. And she was saying that back when she had surgery, she didn't even know little things like having to supplement protein for the rest of her life, how to do it, or even the fact that you can't drink and eat at the same time. So there's so many things, and I think that's the difference between so many surgeons and like the standard of care that they give. Like, I'm not obviously bashing anyone's surgeon. What I'm saying is, I really did my research because I didn't want to be one of those people. I really wanted to know what my life was going to be like after. And I think even though my surgeon is obviously very comfortable and confident with the dietitian that he chooses to work from his office, I find him still asking me a lot of the questions that, like, I've already discussed that with her. So I don't know if he does that from like a, you know, making sure we're listening or making sure she's giving us the right information. I don't think it's because of that, because Stevie's amazing, but you just don't know. Like, you just think, like, you wouldn't talk to him about that sort of stuff. Like, you would expect the dietitian to do it. So she does, but then like, he's like, okay, so you know that you can't do this. And I'm like, yeah, like the dietitian's already told us all that. But I think, like I said, he's probably testing to make sure that you're actually paying attention. So anyway, I'm going to pick up from where I finished my last vlog, which was on Wednesday afternoon. I was day 8 post-op and I'd had a really shit week and I just started feeling better. So you remember that was the first day that I actually woke up and was like, I wouldn't even know that I had surgery. As of today, like, I feel great, it's amazing. I finally felt happy to sit there and talk about my experience so far. So we're gonna pick up from there and we're gonna fast forward to Thursday morning. So Thursday morning I would have been 9 days post-op. I woke up and Jacob had gone to work and my mum was still staying, which was amazing, very, very lucky. And I heard the rubbish truck coming and I quickly messaged Jake and said, please tell me you put the bins out. And he's like, oh no, actually I think the bins were out, but where my mum parked is where our housemate normally parks, and he's normally gone before the bins come, so we put them like next to his car, and then obviously when he drives off, the truck has plenty of room to come and grab the bins. So anyway, I'd said to Jake, have you moved the bins, because they were next to mum's car, and he was like, oh my gosh, no, I didn't even think about it. I know this is completely irrelevant right now, but anyway, like I said, I'm a detail person. This is how my day went. So anyway, I jumped out of bed. I hadn't gotten up yet. It was only like 7 o'clock in the morning. Jumped up out of bed. Arthur was awake as well. I felt a bit like dizzy as I got up, but that's probably because I jumped up really quickly. So I brought Arthur out with me. I was like in the hallway near my front door. I heard mum, she'd been up and about all morning, tidying and doing bits and pieces. And so I walked out with Arthur and I was like, Mum, can you just hold him for a second? I said, Jake didn't move the bins and they're in front of your car and I can hear the truck coming. And she's like, no, you hold Arthur, I'll move the bins. You shouldn't be moving them. I said, no, they're really light. Jake said they weren't that full. So I was like, either way, I'm going to be either holding Arthur or moving the bins. So either. So anyway, my mum went out, took the rubbish out and moved the bins. That was all fine. She came back inside and I was like, good morning, sorry about that, rah. She's like, how are you feeling? And I was like, oh, I'm not sure. I was like, I got some sleep, but I still feel a bit blah this morning. And she's like, okay, well, have something to eat and drink, see how you feel. So I think I sat down, like I made us a coffee. I sat down with her and I had maybe like a mouthful or two of my coffee, and the pains were very probably still there, but because of my pain threshold and it getting me into trouble, I think my brain was trying to tell me like, no, it's not the same pains that you had the other day, like you're okay, you just need to go to the toilet again. So obviously I moved my bowels on that Monday and the Tuesday, so day 6 and 7, because the doctor prescribed me with the enemas and the Senelax and all the rest of it. Anyway, so I had a little bit of coffee, and then I said to my mum, I said, maybe I actually need to go to the toilet like by myself. She's like, okay, well, I'll take Artie and go change his bum and get him dressed. And we were supposed to be going to swimming this morning, and Tilly was going to be swimming with him, and my mum was just going to come and watch with me. And we had plenty of time, like he normally has another nap before we even leave. But so I went and sat in the toilet, and the pains were getting worse. I was like, no, this isn't right. So I came out, I walked all the way down to the nursery, and my mum was in there, and I said, Mum, I said, I need you to go to the chemist for me. I need you to tell them that I am 9 days post-op, and that I was given enemas on Monday and Tuesday, and I'm having the same horrible pains today, so I probably need to move my bowels again, but nothing's working. So she's like, okay, let me get dressed and I'll go to the chemist. So this is at 8 o'clock, so she got there as they opened. Anyway, so she spoke to the pharmacist, she told them exactly what I said. They gave her Senelax. So actually I hadn't had the Senelax yet because that came on that day. So they said, tell her to take 2 of these now. Normally you take them at night so that it kind of works overnight while you're lying down, so that when you wake up in the morning, you generally need to go to the toilet. So they said if she takes 2 of these now, because she's up and about and moving, she'll probably go within the hour or two. I thought, this is great. We've got 2.5 hours before we leave for swimming. As long as I go before we get in the car, because it's a half an hour drive out there. Otherwise I'm gonna have to wear a nappy. So anyway, she got back. She even went and got me some prune juice, which I hadn't even opened. It's still in the fridge now. So got me some prune juice as well. She got back and I took 2 of the tablets straight away, obviously a few minutes apart, because at that stage I was still not being able to swallow stuff properly. I think within a couple of minutes I started to feel really hot. I was like, something's not right. I said, I don't know if it's that. I said, I don't think my bowels want to move. I think I did a few farts and I was like, okay, like that's starting to feel a little bit less pressure. And then I thought, like, mate, that's good. Maybe it's moving, everything's getting ready to come out. Went and sat in the toilet again. Still nothing. I was just like forcing out farts. Anyway, I messaged my mum and said, my bedroom door's unlocked. I said, I'm gonna get in the shower. I said, I feel like I just need to stand in the hot shower. So remembering back to the Monday when I woke up in a lot of pain and I stood in the shower and I almost passed out and Jake had to come break into our room and get me because I'd locked the doors. So obviously I was like with my mum, if I needed her, I needed to be able to call out to her. So anyway, I got in the shower. She's like, yeah, just take it easy. Call me if you need me. Got in the shower, was like standing there sort of like I was in labor again. So I'm like swaying side to side. I'm like rubbing my lower back, like I'm in so much pain. And then I don't know what happened, but within a few seconds, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna throw up. And then I was like, dry reach. And then, sorry, like this is TMI, but like I said, you're here for my recovery, so you're getting the whole spiel. I basically went from being almost fine, standing in the shower, to projectile vomiting, bright orange liquid, like as if I was to have dissolved Barocca in a cup and swallowed it and vomited it straight back up. It just kept coming and coming and coming, and I'm trying to bang on the wall because that wall there with the plant going up it is actually my shower backs onto that, and mum was out here. So I'm banging on the wall and I'm like, Mum, like please come help me. So anyway, she comes in and like I heard her run down the hallway. So she comes in and she's like, is everything okay? And I was like, I just threw up really bad. And then again, right in front of her. So I'm in the shower literally vomiting, and she's like, oh my God, she's like, what can I do? And I'm like, just please just stay in here, like I'm really scared. My stomach felt okay, because obviously that's the first thing I stressed about was like, I'm projectile vomiting, like not vomiting into my little spew bag post anesthesia like I was in hospital. Like I was heaving, and I haven't vomited like that, not even through my pregnancy. Like I was so scared. I was like, this is it, I'm gonna rip stitches or something's gonna happen. So anyway, I got out the shower eventually, like I wet my hair, I was literally like a drowned rat. Got out the shower, mum's like, you need to ring Jacob, let him know what's going on. So I called hubby, and straight away he's like, ring your surgeon's office now and tell them you want to speak to your surgeon. Like this is 4 days, this is enough. So I called, spoke to the receptionist again, and she actually said, no, I think I'm going to get you to speak to Ravi yourself, because she's like, I don't know what else it can be, and I'm instructed to tell you to go to the ER. And I'm like, I'm not going to hospital. So anyway, she's like, if he hasn't called you by 2 o'clock, please let me know. Now this is like 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30. So I was just like, that's like all day that I have to wait. So anyway, the pains was still there, really, really bad. Like the vomiting didn't even make a difference. I kind of came to figure that maybe the color of my vomiting was from the Senelax tablets that I took. That's kind of the only thing that would have made sense. So I laid down on my bed. The only way I could lay to get a little bit of relief was basically face down, bum in the air, pillow under my stomach, and like cradling the pillow. In that time I'd spoken to the surgeon. He did ring me quite soon. He said, get yourself organized, pack an overnight bag, get to the ED ASAP. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, it could be appendicitis, it could be your gallbladder. He said, you could have a leak. He said, you might have like strained and tore like your sleeve or something. So I'm like panicking at this stage. And I'm like, I don't want to go back to hospital. Like, you know, COVID's crazy right now. I don't want to leave my family again. I don't want to go back to hospital. But I was like, okay, stop being stubborn, just sort your shit out. So anyway, I called hubby, told him what was going on. I also have a friend that works at the Midland ED, so I was very lucky. I messaged her and said, how's the hospital looking today? And also, is it worth me bringing Jacob or my mum with me to stay with me? Or, you know, what's the deal? And she said, no visitors, so come by yourself. Just get them to drop you off at the front. She said, and be prepared to be here until at least 10 o'clock tonight if you don't get admitted. And I was like, no. So anyway, packed a little bag, got some water. Jacob came home from work, took me to the hospital, and then he came back here and stayed with my mum and auntie. So they were all fine. Like, it was probably a good thing to have happened because it really got me to like break away from like having to get Arthur looked after by other people. Like obviously my mum and everyone are very capable, but I've not had to do that so far other than Jacob. So it was probably really good. I think my mum really enjoyed the time, which was awesome. So anyway, got to the hospital, because I'd been vomiting and I'd obviously had diarrhea at the beginning of the week. They sent me to the orange zone, and I'm getting checked in. The phone to the triage lady rings, and I could hear her talking, and I was like, who is she talking to? Like, it sounds like it's about me. And then she puts the phone like to her chest and was like, Jolene said to say hello, and she's just called me to let me know that you're very dear to her and that she's going to make sure you're looked after, but you're probably going to be waiting a long time, so she's going to come and see you later. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. So Jolene is my friend that works in the ED at Midland. So anyway, I got checked in really quickly. So if you've ever been to the Midland Hospital, if you live in Perth, the emergency room is obviously like, it's pretty comfortable and whatnot. It was empty because they've made a makeshift like tent marquee kind of thing that's air conditioned, that if you're in the green zone and you don't have any traces or signs of having COVID, you'll go in there and wait. If you've had vomiting and diarrhea and stuff, you'll go in the COVID screening area. So I went in there first, which was really good because I was in there by myself, except that I got checked in and then they said a nurse will come and grab you when it's time for you to go into the other area. Then this other nurse comes over and she's like, hi, I just need you to read this form and sign it. We just have to do a rat test. It's mandatory as of 12 o'clock today, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, oh, great. All right, well, there's a first for everything. I've not had a COVID test at all yet. So I thought, great. And I messaged my husband and was like, no, I finally have to have my first COVID test. And my nose is so sensitive. So I was shitting myself. But I thought if babies and kids can do it, I can do it. You know, so I was like, I have to be safe. Anyway, 2 seconds later, a nurse comes out and then he's like, Hayley, I was like, yep. He goes, cool, you're gonna come with me. We're gonna restream you back to the green zone because you're fine, blah, blah. I said, oh, I haven't had the test yet. He's like, what test? I said, the rat test. He goes, he looks at the other nurses and was like, she's literally here because she's a post-op patient. She had surgery and she's having a reaction to something. She's not here to be COVID tested. They were like, stop wasting our supplies. And I was just sitting there like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So anyway, my nostrils were safe for one more time. So I got moved to the green zone. By this stage, it was probably 2:30, I wanna say. It was 5:30 by the time I got taken through and triaged properly with an actual nurse. So that was obviously horrible because by that stage, my hips were sore, my back was sore, everything was sore from sitting on this horrible little plastic chair. But I was just grateful. I knew that once I go through, obviously, like I'm gonna be in the right hands. So anyway, but when I finally went through, they put me straight into a bed in like the ED ward. So that was really cool. And my friend was working in the little glass house office that was in that particular area. So it was nice. Like obviously I didn't get to like just sit and chat with her and whatnot, but at least if I needed something or, you know, whatnot, I just knew that she was right there. So that was really cool. So anyway, I didn't get to go home until about 8:30 that night, so that just goes to show like how long I was in there for. They made me do a urine test straight away. They came and hooked up an IV, like a cannula, took bloods and then said, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. We just got to confirm that you're not pregnant and that you don't have an infection. And I was like, okay, cool, like that's fine. Within a couple of minutes, I heard like a ding. So like they like ding the nurses and they call a code. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I must be so busy, like something's happening. And I could hear them saying, we need like a 2-litre bag of fluids hung in bed 20 ASAP, blah, 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 blah. And can we please get so-and-so doctor to bed 20 ASAP. And I was just like, oh God, like what's happening? And then all of a sudden, like my curtain opens and like all these nurses and stuff come in and I look up and I was like, oh, I'm bed 20. So I was just like, oh my God, what's happened? Like I'm dying. Anyway, so it ended up being that I was severely dehydrated. So I hadn't peed since probably I had that shower at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning when I threw up. And this was 4:30 by the time, you know, I actually got like processed through, did the urine test, had the bloods and everything done. Then the results obviously came back and that's what happened. So it had been pretty much all day. I did this much wee in a cup and it was same thing, bright orange. So obviously I was severely dehydrated and that's exactly what they said. So the nurse came in, he's like, hey going, my name's Jack. He's like, I'm gonna be looking after you. He's like, honey, you are severely dehydrated. Good news, you're not pregnant and there's no infections, which is awesome. Your bloods look amazing. He said, but there obviously is something going on with your abdomen. So we're gonna send you up for a CT when we've got someone free. It might take a couple of hours, but let's just keep you here, get these fluids pumping through you and we'll go from there. And I was just like, okay, like this is great. He's like, have you had anything to eat or drink? And I said, well, no, I can't eat. I said, but I'm supposed to be having something every 2 to 3 hours. I said, and I've only had a tablespoon of yogurt this morning and then I threw up. He's like, okay, well, he goes, I've literally got yogurt and juice. He goes, so I'll see what I can get for you. As far as liquids go, because obviously I wasn't up on a ward, so they couldn't get me like something warm, which was fine. I was like, I'm not gonna be fussy at this stage, just please save my life. Now the problem is, again, with my pain threshold, I was telling them that my pain at this stage was only like a 3 or a 4, right? And then they do the Bishop's, I can't remember what it's called, but it's where they like go in and they like feel around your abdomen and they ask you if there's any pain, and obviously they can see if you wince and whatnot. So they're basically looking for like a reaction to that. And if you have a reaction to them pressing anywhere, then your whatever it's called is positive, and it means that they need to investigate further. So I'm sitting there and this guy's like pressing on my stomach, and I was like, no, that area is fine. Where my belly button is on top, which is like your umbilical site area, I had most of my post-op pain there, and that's because that's my incision where they took my stomach out of. So yeah, like obviously I was a bit tender there around my incision sites, which was normal. Like my reflexes at that stage post-op were normal for those areas. They weren't red, they weren't bleeding, so they were clear. Then they got underneath my belly button, so like in the lower part of my stomach where I was having most of my pain. So it wasn't actually even up where my stomach is. So he like pressed on one side, which was like near my ovaries, and I was like this, and then he's like, how is that? And I was just like, yeah, fine. And then he did the other side. He's like, okay, I'm gonna ask you again. And then he did the other side again, and I like winced, and I was like, no, it's fine. He goes, yep, so you're wincing, which means it's not fine, and I need you to give me an honest answer. And I looked at him and said, my pain threshold is through the roof. I said, so I'm telling you, like, based on this scale that you've given me, the pain's not making me scream and cry, so I'm not like a 7 to a 10. I said, and I don't feel, I said, like this morning I was probably off the Richter scale, which means that I was probably almost dying, because to a normal person, they probably would have gone to the hospital 2 days earlier than I did. I said, but like I'm here now because I was in horrible pain this morning. It's passing now because I've taken my pain meds, but obviously that's covering something up. And he's like, okay, but if you wince, it means that there's pain there. It's a positive reaction, which means that something's not right. I was like, okay, well, yeah, like, it's tender. It's not sore, it's tender. And he's like, okay, let's get this CAT scan done. He's like, gosh, he's like, you're a hard patient, aren't you? And I was like, I'm not. I'm literally sitting here, not complaining, not doing anything. I had a girl like in the bed next to me, and like her poor doctor, he was like, just, I could hear how frustrated he was. She was like going on about how she, he pulled a face, or like he must have like, you know, sprinkled his nose under his mask because his nose was itchy or something. And he was explaining something to her at the same time, and she was like, your face, why did you just do that? Am I dying? Do I have a brain aneurysm sort of thing? And I was just like, obviously she suffers from horrible anxiety or something, so like, God bless her and whatnot. I'm not taking the piss. I'm just saying, like, there's this doctor dealing with that, and there's me sitting here being like, yeah, I'm not in horrible pain right now, but I'm severely dehydrated and obviously something's going on. So they're just like, there is obviously something wrong, but you're not giving us a proper reaction. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm not sitting here being like, oh yeah, I'm like an 8 when I'm not really in pain. Like, I'm not gonna try and force myself through the system. I want to go home. So anyway, fast forward a couple of hours, I obviously started feeling heaps better because I had the fluids going through, so that was great. Then they took me for my CAT scan. This is where it gets hilarious, because I walked into the CAT scan room and they obviously do the handover. So the guy that wheels me in reads my file out, and then they pass me on to the doctors, and then they go from there. So CAT scan wheelie in guy goes, yep, I've got Hayley Zizzolo, here's the date of birth, rah rah, here's her number on a little band, can you confirm that you've got the same details? Yep, we have, okay, cool, what's Hayley in for? So Hayley is 9 days post gastric sleeve surgery. She's having horrible abdominal pain, blah, blah, blah. She has a positive, I can't remember what the bloody word is, but I'm just gonna say Bishop's because I feel like that's what the thing is. But anyway, she's having positive reaction in her lower abdomen, both left and right sides. We need to do a full CT scan from the neck down. We're in cahoots with her surgeon. So they've been talking to my surgeon, which was really good because the first doctor on the Monday didn't do that. Anyway, so my surgeon had recommended they do the CAT scan. So anyway, they go, cool, no worries, we'll take it from here. Hey Hayley, how you going? So this is what we're going to do today. Have you ever had a CAT scan and had the iodine dye injection? I said, I've had a CAT scan but never had to have the dye injected. They said, okay, cool. So because you've got a cannula, there's no more pain because we just put it in through there. When we do put it in through there though, you're probably going to feel like you've peed yourself, which is fine. It's just a really warm sensation. We can guarantee you that you haven't peed yourself, but that's how it's going to feel. But we also need you to ingest the iodine dye as well. So we're going to get you to drink a cup of that, and then we'll put it in your arm, and then we'll go through and do the MRI. The machine will tell you what to do, when to do it, breathe, don't breathe, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, cool, no worries. You know, not thinking like, oh, they're gonna make me drink a whole cup of water because I literally can't, and they know what I'm here for. No. So their assistant girl comes in and goes, yep, so I just spoke to Dr. blah, blah, blah. He's confirmed to put this amount of diet into this much water. So we'll just get her to drink that and then we'll do the injection and go from there. So she walks over with a cup, like, you know, the little white plastic cups you get when you're in like the doctor's waiting room and you go fill it up with cold water. Like that's probably 200 mils, right? So she walks over with that. She's like, yep, so as you can see, it just looks like water. She goes, it doesn't really taste like anything. There might be a bit like metallic-y here and there, but she goes, it's pretty basic. And I said, cool. So how long have I got to drink that cup of water? She goes, oh, like as quickly as you can. And I said, so like 2 hours? And she just looked at me and I said, you guys just read out my file. I'm a gastric sleeve patient. I'm 9 days post-op. I said, do you understand that procedure? And like, do you understand why I'm here? And they said, yeah, you've had your stomach cut out, rah, rah. And I was like, yeah, so 200 mils of water, that's gonna take me almost 2 hours to drink. And it must have been at that point that the ball dropped and she just went, oh my gosh, you can't even scull that. I was like, no. And so she's like, I'm so sorry. I said, no, that's fine. I said, it's just that like, I feel like I've had to explain myself so many times today. And then like one of the doctors at one point was even like, oh, so I can see you've got these steri strips on your stomach. What are these incisions from? And the nurse was like, she's 9 days post-op from gastric sleeve. He's like, why is no one listening to us today? So then he took him out, obviously must have had words with him because of the way he spoke to him in front of me. But I was like, no, I'm totally on his side. Like, open your ears, people. So anyway, that was frustrating. But anyway, they just said, drink as much as you can, as comfortably as you can, and we'll go from there. So I reckon I probably had 60 to 70 mils in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably double of what I should have had. And I'm not in pain, so it's okay, but that's all I can get down. She's like, no, that's fine. It's better than nothing. We'll just top up the dye that we inject. So anyway, laid down, they did that. It felt so strange. I was like, are you sure I haven't just peed myself? She's like, no, I promise. So then, yeah, they did the MRI and then, the CAT scan, sorry. And then the other doctor came back, the nurse guy, wheeled me back to my bed. They got me into bed. I was freezing, like I forgot to take a jumper. I do it every time I go to a hospital. So I forgot to take a jumper. I was so bloody cold. And obviously because Jacob and stuff couldn't come visit me. Is that Auntie away? Yeah, it is. Okay, we'll reconvene. Yeah, so it was so cold in there. But anyway, I got another blanket, it was fine. I think that they kept coming in to like check and make sure my fluids were moving through. I was obviously starting to feel better and better as the hours went on. And then, yeah, hello. You come to join us. But yeah, anyway, so that was pretty funny. But no, I ended up coming home late that night, like I said. So I took the whole lot of fluids. I think I had 1.8 litres by the time I went home. I obviously felt heaps better. I think by the time I got home that night, even my mum was like, gosh, you scared me this morning. Yeah, so I got to come home, chill with these guys, go to bed with you. Yeah. We've got such a giggle pot at the moment. It's the cutest thing ever. But yeah, so then mum stayed until the Friday again. I felt a little bit better. We actually went out, like just went to the local shops, got a coffee. We did. And then, you know, just picked up some groceries for the weekend. And then we came home and then mum went home that afternoon. What is it? Your dummy's on your arm. It's stuck to your arm. Yeah, so I was so grateful that I had mum here. Actually, I was feeling so much better come the Friday that I finally did my whole pantry with mum. So I put a reel up on my normal Instagram, Hayley's Adventures, and I fully decked out my whole pantry finally, which has been like my one thing I've been longing to do since we moved in. So that was really cool. So it was nice. Mum, you know, got everything in order and whatnot. And then she, yeah, went home, I think Saturday morning maybe? Friday night, I can't remember, but no, I think she went home Saturday morning, that's right. So they stayed Friday night, she went home Saturday morning, and then it was pretty much just business as usual from there. What did we get up to? We didn't do much, did we? No, we just took it easy. Obviously, mum's like, if you need me to come back next week when Jake goes back to work, let me know, but definitely by the Monday, I was feeling so much better. So then by that stage, come Tuesday, so Tuesday just gone, I was 3 weeks post-op, which is awesome. So I was going into my second week of purees. I still, touch wood, still to this day, I haven't like vomited from any food that I've had. I haven't had too many situations where like food's gotten stuck. Like I can tell if something wasn't moist enough, or I like over pureed it. There was a couple of things where I was like, oh, it's a bit tight, goggy, and then like eventually it just sort of like goes down and you're like, okay, cool. So what does a day look like for me at the moment? So I, at the moment now, with being almost a month post-op, I'm going into soft foods this week. So basically anything I can just like, if I can cut through it with a fork or a spoon, that's fine. So like scrambled eggs, I don't have to worry about like pureeing like my avocado. I can do roast veggies. What else can we have? What else can we have? You know, just like lots of, so basically like getting back into normal eating without the crunch still. So I can't have raw vegetables yet, that's next week. So I'm just really looking forward to, you know, getting back into some sort of normality. We are going away next weekend for the long weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Like we've been out a couple of times now. So today we went into Freo and we went to the new FOMO building. So it's like all these different food vendors. Yeah, so we went into Freo and I got from that Vietnamese place rolled. So they do like a little bowl of, so it's like rice, like raw coleslaw mix, which obviously I just didn't eat. And then like little tiny thin soft strips of pork belly. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like that's what I need right now. I was like, I need some sort of like protein. Pork was on my list, so I was like, this is great. I just asked them for like a sauce to have with it. And so they gave me like some, it was sort of like a vegetarian hoisin sauce. So it was like not fish sauce based. So I would just like dip a piece of pork belly in that. They were like little thin strips too, so it was good. So I would like hold a piece of pork belly in that sauce for a few seconds with my chopsticks and then put it in my mouth, and I just made sure like I really like chewed until it was almost pureed, and then I swallowed it. And that was fine. I only got to I only had maybe 3 or 4 little bits of pork and like 2 little chopstick scoops of rice. But I was with my family, I got to eat out, like it was great. They gave me takeaway, so I had a little bit more when I got home. I might have some more for dinner, have some for lunch tomorrow, and then that's probably it. So I'll probably get like 4 or 5 meals out of it. And just, like I said, folding some washing, and then I'm going to, I don't know if I'm gonna roast or boil. I think I'm gonna roast some for me, but boil some for Arthur. I've got some fresh beetroot, some fresh pumpkin, and some sweet potato. So I'm going to, yeah, like I said, prep those up. I'm gonna blitz some up for Arthur to have for dinner, and then I'm gonna have like little cubes of probably roasted beetroot, pumpkin, and sweet potato with some feta, and that's gonna kind of just be like a warm salad for me. Like obviously I can't have salad stuff yet, but I just wanna have something that reminds me of like a, yeah, like a pumpkin and pepita salad or something. That's what I'm gonna do this afternoon. And then, like I said, this week I'm kind of just gonna take it easy. I've still got some shepherd's pie, little like individual servings in the freezer. I've still got some, I had spinach and ricotta cannelloni the other night. That was really good. So I've still got some of that in the fridge. So I'm good for the next couple of days. And then I think I really need to, I might try like eggs and feta for breakfast, or maybe like eggs and avocado. I guess like most people that I've spoken to at this sort of stage of being able to have like half an egg with a bit of avocado. So, you know, if I cook it up, I might have some for breakfast and then have some for morning tea as well. We had swimming twice last week, and I took Arthur both days, and I actually really loved it. He did love it at the time. I think he's lying. What's wrong? What's wrong? All right, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. Star of the show. Ready? Oh, they can only really see your head. You're gonna have to stand up. You're gonna have to stand up. Stand up. Come on. Look. Oh, you got Sheepy too. Okay. Look. Can you see? Where's Artie? Here. Oh, hello. Mwah. Yeah, so last week we actually had a really good week. It was really nice. So it was my first full week by myself. My phone was ringing. First full week by myself, and it was, oh no, it was my second full week by myself, yeah, because I'm 4 weeks on Tuesday. So it was just really good. Like we had swimming on Wednesday as a makeup class because out of all of the weeks we only managed to miss one, which was really cool. So we had makeup swimming on Wednesday, normal swimming on Thursday, so we got to see all of our friends. We got to see all of our friends again. What is it? Someone's teething like hectic at the moment. So just, yeah, all right, let's unzip you. Feed Dobby the elf. Feed Dobby the elf. All right, ready? Are you ready? Do you want There you go. There you go. Yeah, so swimming was just so much fun. It was so nice to catch up with all of our friends, and again it just reminded me how much I love it for the social aspect. And Archie goes completely under the water now, so it's super cute. Simba. It was just so much fun. So yeah, no, like I said, I just wanted to catch you guys up on like week 2 and 3. So obviously week 2 was the week that I was in hospital again, then came out and started feeling better. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty fell in the water. Oh, that's what we do at swimming. You want to go over my shoulder? There you go. Have a look around. Yeah, so last week was probably the first week I felt fully normal. So week 3 was great. Obviously the most important thing is keeping your hydration up. I'm still not fully finishing my 1 litre bottle every day, but sometimes I get like 3/4 of the way through and then I top it back up with cold water and ice. So I'm probably still drinking 1 litre a day at least. And then I carry a little container around with tasteless protein in it now. If I buy a coffee when I'm out, I put a scoop in there, and I just make sure that I finish that coffee, you know, over the day. I only get the small size as well, which is great. So in the morning when I wake up at the moment, I have a glass of juice with a scoop of tasteless protein in it. I could normally drink that within half an hour, 40 minutes, so that's quite good. I haven't tried smoothies or anything yet, more so because I just feel like I've not been having enough volume of stuff that like I don't want to waste it, and I'm one of those people where I don't like leftover smoothie, so I want to like make it and drink it and not put it in the fridge for later. Yeah, and then maybe like mid-morning I'll have a coffee with some protein in it again, and then obviously come lunchtime I want to eat something, so I'll have either, yeah, like shepherd's pie or mashed potato and gravy, or if I bought something I'll have like, oh excuse you, maybe like 2 or 3 little dumplings with some soy sauce. Yeah, this week I'm just really looking forward to having more vegetables, so that's going to be exciting. But yeah, I mean, it's not too much variety at this stage because I've only just started eating like through the purees. Now I'm getting to the soft foods part, so I'm looking forward to going away this weekend, and like I said, just being with friends and, you know, ordering out or sharing off Jake's plate. And I guess, yeah, just taking it really slowly and see how I go. So I'm going to pick up some more tasteless protein this week, so at least then I guess as long as I keep that in my bag, yeah, I've got something that I can take around with me and I can put it in drinks. We did try this new bubble tea place in Freo called Delish Fast and Nutritious today. So they do it's called a loaded bubble tea, and it's 24 calories, completely sugar free with a hit of guarana in it, and you obviously pick whatever flavor. So I got what's called Peached As, and I think it's literally just water with peach flavored syrup and the guarana in it. They do like protein based ones and everything, so that was really cool because even though it's in the fridge and I had like 3 or 4 mouthfuls of it, I'll still drink that over the next couple of days. I'll just top it up with ice. So yeah, that's pretty much life in a nutshell at the moment. So that was week 2 and 3, and I will obviously film back into filming now. So you can see his little head. So like I said, I am going to, yeah, try and film every couple of days this week, especially with going into soft foods. And yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see how we go this week. But like I said, if you are following along, if you're only like a couple of days behind me or a week or so behind me, and you just have that buyer's remorse and you feel trapped and you're just not sure you're ever going to feel normal again, I promise you that after that week 3 and 4, it does get better. But again, you need to help yourself. So you need to look at the quality of the things that you're eating when you are eating. Are they keeping you full long enough? Are you sipping all day? Yeah, I guess like just there's so many things that you can do to help yourself, but you really need to do your own research. I just feel like knowledge is power, and the amount of people that are so uneducated around having the sleeve, you know, even people that have had it sucks because it's something that your surgeon should really be pushing for you to learn before agreeing to take you on for the surgery. So it's frustrating because I feel like sometimes I don't want to open my mouth because I don't want to come across as like a know-it-all because I'm only 4 weeks post-op, but I've spent 2 years researching the ins and outs of this. I've spent, you know, full days with people that live post-gastric sleeve, and I've seen how they live and how they eat and how they breathe and what their life looks like 2, 3, 4, 5 years post-op. I made that effort pre-op to really be on, you know, the straight and narrow with what life is going to look like after. Like I went out for girls' night last night. Like, no, I couldn't drink and I couldn't have champagne and stuff, but that's fine. Like my life isn't missing alcohol. I didn't drink a whole lot before that, so I knew that wasn't going to be an issue for me. But you know, we did like a little like charcuterie board and stuff like that, and it was nice to just sit and nibble a few things, because even though I could only have like a handful of food compared to eat for the 2 or 3 hours I was there, I had my own little thing that I made last. Yeah, so like I said, I made my food last. I also sat at the same end of the table as my friend who's also had surgery, and it was really good. We had really good discussions last night, and same thing again, it just goes to show like different surgeons, different information, different stages of purees and clear fluids and this and that. And the more that I see online these days and the more that I understand, every surgeon is different in the way that there is a certain recovery point. You know, I still have people that message me and they're like, oh, it's really interesting that you're eating that because you're the same amount of post-op as me, but I'm still on full fluids. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not on full fluids still. I was on full fluids for the second week and I'm now on purees. And yeah, like it's just, or like MASH, I was on like the puree MASH week. But that, like, you can't do that. Like, you can't message someone and tell them that what they're doing is wrong. Message them and go, hey, it's really interesting because we're at the same point of post-op and I noticed you were eating or drinking this. Like, is that a part of your plan? Like, what does your post-op look like? You know, people just need to be kinder to each other and really like want to be there and support each other. Like, there's nothing worse than when you're posting in a public forum going, hey guys, like I made an Instagram, I'm vlogging my whole journey. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask me, whatever. And then you've got other people that are doing the exact same thing. So you go and follow them to support them, but like they don't follow you back. They have no interest in your cycle of journey whatsoever, because to them it's like they've had surgery and you're following them along and all the rest of it. And I'm just like, what is my thing? You know, like that's all well and good, but don't be in a community environment if you're not going to support everyone else around you, you know? Like, we're all in the same boat. We've all done the same thing. We all want to vlog our journey. We all want everyone to see what our journey was like. So support everyone else around you. Like, don't just be like, I want to make this massive like following and whatnot. Like, I separated it from my big account because I wanted it to be intimate and small and close with the people that are there for that reason. So I love that I've done that. And like I said, I sit here and I don't get paid to film these videos. You know, I'm doing it because when I was doing my research, other than the people that I knew that had it, there was no personable stuff like this on YouTube. You couldn't sit and watch someone's day in and day out recovery from when they first came home from hospital. Like, you want to see it and breathe it with your own eyes. Like, this is not a reversible surgery like the gastric band used to be, you know? I just feel like, yeah, education around it needs to be like, it just needs to be there. It's the same as like food education and macronutrients and micronutrients should be taught in schools, just like they teach you how to bake a cake, you know? So anyway, that's my thought on things at the moment. It's my little vent about annoying people. But anyway, other than that, like I said, I'm living La Vida Loca over here. Like I've done my research, I've stuck to my pre-op and post-op like I was supposed to, and now I'm on the downward slope on the fun part. Oh my gosh, actually I'm gonna show you something though. So these jeans that I'm wearing, just gonna zoom back out. You can't see my head, but it's just because I'm going to show you something. So I'm going back to work in 3 or 4 weeks. I said to Jacob, I've kept my pre-pregnancy work jeans. Listen to this guy. To fit back into my pre-pregnancy jeans for when I go back to work because they're super comfy and I like wearing jeans to work. So I grabbed them out this morning thinking like, oh, it'll be funny to like put them on and see how high up I can get them and then take a photo, you know, in a few weeks time, hopefully when they fit. Except I now need new work jeans because look at this. So these used to be so tight on me to the point where like I just fell pregnant and I could not wear them anymore. Like they were just so tight. And now look at this. Look how much room I have. Like you can fit another person in there. And I just like didn't expect this so soon. So it's crazy. But I did hit that 3-week like weight plateau up and down like everyone says that you do, but I also think that has something to do with the fact that like my period's due this week. I'm 4 weeks post-op. I had my period when I got surgery, so that makes sense. What women don't realize, if again you've not looked into these things over the years, is that your body actually fluctuates in weight around the time when you're ovulating, when your period's due, because you're getting bloated, your body's holding on to water because you're about to obviously go through menstruation. So it's completely normal to fluctuate around that sort of time anyway, but then also in that 3 to 4 week post-op phase you are starting to consume a little bit more food, not just purees and not just clear fluids, so you know things will start to change, but that's completely fine. So I am currently 13.5 kilos down in total from the 18th of January, so that's obviously massive and incredible. Some people are losing like 9 kilos in 2 weeks and that's great for them, but some people are obviously getting the surgery starting at a lower weight as well, like they're not as big, or their body like is big for them but not as higher up on the scale. So I do see a lot of people getting really bummed out going, I've only lost 2 or 3 kilos, and I'm like, honey, anything more than 300 odd grams a day is great, like just enjoy that, you know. So anyway, feeling very grateful, very happy for where I am. Look, it's a sheep. But yeah, so I hope you're all doing well. If you're gearing up for surgery this week, good luck. Reach out to me on Instagram. Let me know how you go. Again, any questions, feel free to holler. But yeah, just look after yourselves, and like I said, I'll see you probably after the long weekend. I might post in the middle of the week because we will be going away, so I don't know how soon I'll get to edit when I get home. But yeah, I will try and obviously film as much as I can whilst I'm away so that you can see what like a little getaway looks like 5 to 6 weeks post-op, and eating an almost solid diet for the first time. So anyway, I'm gonna go because this guy's driving me nuts today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look after yourselves and we'll see you next week.